Hey guys, I'm Nikki Ferguson, and on this edition of Meet the Wolfpack, I am joined by Michelle Boss from the basketball team. Thanks for being here, Michelle.
Hi.
So how has school been going? Because you're in nursing in third year?
Second year of nursing, yeah.
Okay, so how is balancing Wolfpack and nursing going?
It's definitely hard because we do have to spend 2 days a week in hospital, in clinical setting, and so that's difficult because we definitely cannot miss it. So we just have to do a lot of communicating with our profs and my coaches to make sure that those clinical days are in the middle of the week, so we're not traveling away to Calgary and things like that. So I never miss clinical, which is important. But like you do end up missing a lot of school, especially Mondays and Friday classes and stuff. So luckily, the nurses are fantastic, and I just have some really great friends and catch up with them when I get back from our trips.
So what floors have you been in so far in the hospital?
Well, last year I was working in residential, so that's like in the old folks' home, and I really enjoyed that. And then this year, so far, I've just been on 6 North. So it's like a post-surgical ward, and we've been working with orthopedics, so people who've had total hip replacements, knee replacements, femur breaks, things like that. And we actually care for our own patients. We have 1 or 2 patients a day, and you're doing all of the care for them for that day.
So based on like your experience in the hospital so far, do you have a floor that you think you'll gravitate to once you graduate?
I really haven't worked in enough areas to be positive where I want to end up. I know my mom is a nurse. She works at Vancouver General Hospital, so in Vancouver, and she works in the Emerge. And she loves her job. It's really stressful, it takes a toll and stuff, but she just has such great stories, and she really makes such a big difference and stuff. So I think one day I could work somewhere like that in the Emerge, but that might be after I've worked somewhere else for a few years and become confident enough in my skills. But the Emerge I think is where I want to end up.
That's cool. So is your mom pretty excited that you've kind of followed her path into nursing?
Yeah, I think so. Every time she comes up to visit, we can talk about nursing stuff all the time now, and it's really cool. We definitely bond over it.
Yeah, and you can probably bounce like things off her when you're doing homework and call her and be like, Mom, how do I do this?
Oh, totally, yeah.
That's awesome. So this year with the Wolfpack, you are in a leadership role as co-captain with Shanice. So how is that with your nursing school? Has that added more things that you have to like put on your plate?
Oh, it definitely does. Just like as captains, one of our roles is organizing practices and organizing what we're wearing on trips or what we're doing on trips and things like that. So there is a bit of an added workload that way, but I love doing it. I love the team and stuff, so I really don't mind it. I love it.
Yeah. Okay, so this weekend, team's going away. So what is it like being on the road as like part of a team?
So like a day-to-day kind of thing? So, for example, this weekend we're off to Edmonton to play U of A. So it's Thursday today, and we'll leave at around 1 o'clock. So, like, I'm missing my afternoon classes today. We'll fly over to Calgary, and then we fly to Edmonton. So Thursdays are basically a full day of travel, lots of airport time, and you get homework done in the airports, on the plane rides, things like that. By the time we get there, you're exhausted, so you sleep really well. And then when it comes to game days, they're pretty structured. You wake up, you have a morning shoot, you go for a pre-game meal, you take a nap, and then you're off to your games and things like that. So there's really not a lot of downtime on Fridays and Saturdays to do homework and stuff, because you're really focused on your game that night. And then usually when we travel, Sunday is when we're coming home. Similar idea, usually leave in the morning, and you're home by around 2 o'clock, and Sunday night, you're getting all your homework done.
Oh my goodness, a little stressful. But okay, so travel a lot with Wolfpack, but you also travel a lot yourself, not when you're in season, I'm assuming. But so where have you been?
I love traveling. My first big trip was in grade 10. I went to China with my dad. He's like my travel partner, kind of. I've also, with my school, I've been to the Philippines. I've been to Hawaii, all over Canada and the States. I was in India last summer, and I'm planning a trip for this summer as well, hopefully.
So how long were you in India for?
Usually I go for about 2 to 3 weeks. I'll do it right when season ends, because I usually like to take a few weeks off of not training. So that's my time to go on these trips, because you're definitely not playing basketball in India. So I'll take those 3 weeks, break from basketball, travel, enjoy myself, and then after those 3 weeks, come home and off-season training starts.
So where do you want to go this summer?
I really would love to go to Egypt, Jordan. I really want to go to Petra, and maybe go over to Israel when I'm there because they're kind of all three beside each other.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people want to go into that area right now, so it's very cool.
That's why I go with my dad. He's like 6'6",
Oh,
so
perfect.
he'll
So you
protect
got-
me.
yeah.
That's the idea.
That's awesome. So is it just you and your dad go?
Usually, that's what we've done in the past. 2 people's nice and easy, and we get along really well. So.
So now I want to talk to you. You have your own little business going on, so you could tell me about how that started, how you started doing these sports camps. Is it
Well,
sports
I
camp?
mostly just do like one-on-one or small group sessions. It started last year, and I sent an email out to a coach that I knew, who worked with like a grade 6 team about that age group, and I just asked all the parents if anyone wanted some one-on-one training. And so I got about 3 or 4 girls from that group, and then I also did some coaching in the summer with some camps, and I kind of just like handed out my name and number and stuff to
Yeah.
people, and I got a few more girls that way. And it's been hard during the school year and stuff like that, but like with this in December, I got a winter break, Christmas break coming up, and I'm hoping to do a little bit more training then, and maybe next summer I try and get it rolling and get even more kids if I can.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. So you're just working with these kids, teaching the skills,
Mhm.
like really building confidence in them.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I like, because I do, right now most of my kids are grade 6 to grade 8 is kind of the age range. And it's a great age because they just like absorb everything you tell them, and they're so excited about the sport. And the improvement you'll see, like even week to week, let alone month to month, and like after a year of working with these kids, is just so amazing. I can't believe how good some of them have gotten. So.
That's awesome. Do
Yeah.
any of them come to the home games to watch you play?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, and a lot of the girls know almost everyone on our team by name, and
So cute.
everyone knows them by name, and it's a really cool connection, like with the next generation, because some of those girls could one day be a Wolfpack player, and that's so exciting.
Yes, and it must be nice having your own little fan section.
It's cool. Yeah, it's really fun.
Awesome. So if you could give advice to one athlete considering coming to TRU, what would that advice be?
I think the biggest thing is finding balance in life. I've seen a lot of high-level athletes burn out just because they're just playing, if it's basketball, they're just playing it every day, all the time. It's all they think about, and they'll stress themselves out to the point that it's not even fun anymore, or they get injuries and things like that. And if you can find a balance where you can train enough that you'll reaching your potential, but still enjoying it and finding other things in life that you enjoy, whether it's hanging out with friends or still doing well in school or hiking or things like that, and just getting a good balance where you can still step away from basketball, enjoy other things in life, and then come back to basketball being even better because of that break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know you're super busy and you have to get to the airport, but thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
This has been Meet the Wolfpack with Michelle Voss.